I don't know what the camera is looking like right now. Do a quick little check skidoodle. Check skidoodle, baby doodle doodle. Doodle, that's my dad's name, according to my uncle. Uncle Dick. Uncle Dick called my dad Doodle. Dick and Doodle. Should make a podcast called the Dick and Doodles Show. What's happening, beautiful people? This video is really just for me. I don't care if anybody watches this one. I don't really care if anybody watches any of them, and here's why. Because this process of recording videos, the real point of it is to help me better understand what I'm learning. Help me solidify my knowledge, my wisdom, my expertise, so that I can share it with people. And if as a byproduct somebody else learns something along the way, that's amazing and fantastic. So let's see. The big insight that I had was this. In the process of memory reconsolidation, there's a critical step according to all of the clinical literature, according to all of the sort of procedural knowledge that I've developed, according to all the different techniques that I've learned and the different methods that I've learned for changing beliefs, for rewiring our implicit memory. There's a critical step, regardless of how it's referred to by the technique, and that step is where there's a mismatch experience. That's a more clinical version of the term. Where there's an alternative interpretation, that's another way to put it. Where there's an alternative reality, that's another way to put it, based on which technique. But no matter what, somewhere in the process, what your brain is expecting to happen, the expected outcome, the predicted outcome, and the evidence that you're presenting have to mismatch each other. And why is this? I was trying to understand why is this? Why is this that we recall the memory and then we give unexpected information and then that triggers reconsolidation? Here's what I think is going on. In those moments, the brain is confused. I was watching a video earlier, Dr. Tori Lawns, I think is her name. Tori Lore, something like that. And she calls it error detection, where your brain is like error when you give it information that contradicts what it's predicting will happen. When there's an error like that, your brain, of course, duh. Huh. Yeah, when there's a mismatch, your brain goes, hold on, we need to take a closer look here. That's what confusion is. And confusion is actually the emotional experience or the trigger for the release of the neurotransmitters and the neurochemicals that are required in order to make those neural networks flexible or labile. That's how it's called in the clinical literature. Labile? In case you couldn't tell, I haven't studied this stuff in a classroom. I've only studied it from books. I love books, though. I'm an autodidact. So that error detection, this is so good. So the error detection moment is when your brain goes, hold on a minute. What I was expecting to happen didn't happen. I better re-examine my model. I better take a closer look at my map. My map says if I go straight here, I'll get onto this street, and this is a dead end. So I better take a look at the map again. And I might need to make an edit to the map because the map doesn't match reality anymore. The map is a tool for navigating reality, and it's useful because it saves us a ton of energy and time. But when the map no longer matches reality, reality wins. Now, here's the thing. You have to be looking at a map at the same time as you hit the dead end. If you hit the dead end and you're not looking at a map, then you're just like, oh, I guess I took a wrong turn. But if you're looking at the map and you're on the street that you know you're on, you're at the intersection that you know you're at, and the map says it goes through and reality says it doesn't go through, it's a dead end, the map needs to be revised. And only in those circumstances is your brain going to do the energy of revising the memory. Because, one, it takes energy, it's work to revise the memory, so your brain's like, if I don't have good evidence to suggest that I should do work here, I'm not going to do any work here. Because, we're efficient beings as humans. We like to do as little work as possible to get the result that we want. And two, if the map was just sort of like, ooh, willy-nilly, like, woo, it's like whatever it is, we can change it anytime we want, it's pretty useless because it's not going to match reality. It's like a map that's sort of shape-shifting all the time is not a very useful map. So what we want is for the map to be rigid and consistent and the same all the time until we discover a discrepancy, at which point reality wins and the map needs to be updated. But like I said, you have to have the map open and be at that intersection at the same time. Otherwise, it won't trigger your brain's update mechanism or memory reconsolidation. So the two main factors, components that you need for a successful memory reconsolidation, which is the process that allows us to change our beliefs,